What is up, boys and girls? Welcome back to another video. All I'm going to be doing in this video, guys, is going through every single breakout that happened in the market. So as you guys know, if you've been following this channel for a while, I go through every single breakout that happens every single day, and I put in all of that information to my backend tracker. So I'm just going to show you guys how I actually track all of this information. That way, if you guys ever wanted to start tracking this yourself, it does take a lot of work. I spend at least 1 to 2 hours per day tracking all of this, not even counting all the time that I'm sitting in front of the charts watching it. But I do think this is going to be super helpful if you guys want to know exactly how I track this information. And if you guys do want to be coached by me one-on-one, I am accepting new one-on-one clients right now. So I'm looking for about 5 more people, preferably if you have at least 5K bare minimum inside of your portfolio, you want to coach, you want to make decisions based off data, you can click the link down below and book a call with me. So if that's you, feel free to do that. So ticker's going to be up here in the top left-hand corner. So right now we're looking at SUNE. The first thing that I need to do is establish a breakout level. And for me, I don't count any breakout that happens before 4 a.m. EST. And I also don't count any breakouts if the stock wasn't up at least 17%. So right here during this time frame, the stock was only up 12% from the previous close. So the first breakout level is going to be all the way up here at $2.45. So that's going to be the first thing that I put, $2.45. Next thing that I'm looking at, guys, is going to be the time the stock broke out. So we get our first red candle right here. That allows me to draw this horizontal line, which is my breakout level. And then from there, this 5-minute candle at 7:50 a.m. breaks above it and closes above it. So the breakout time is going to be right here at 7:50. So I'm going to put that. And then next up, we got the 5-minute candle close. So for me, I track the close because if I'm just trading a regular breakout and I'm not trading any modification of the strategy, then I would be entering on this 5-minute candle close right here. So all of the open, high, close, all of that information is going to be up here in the top left-hand corner. So if I put my mouse right here, you can see the close is going to be C right here. So the close is going to be $2.53. So I'm going to put that in my tracker as well. And, I've back tested this many different times. As long as the stock has substantial enough volume, you are going to get filled very, very, very close within half a percent of that 5-minute candle close. And a lot of times I get filled right at the 5-minute candle close as long as you time it the right way. Okay. So next up, for me, I'm using a 15% set stop loss for this specific strategy. So for me, I'm like, okay, what was the max price reach that I could have got while I was in this trade? I see we make this move up to $2.96. Let me just kind of pull this back and say, okay, I would have definitely got kicked out of this trade if I would have continued to hold going into market open. So the max price that this stock reached before hitting a 15% stop loss is $2.96. I'm putting that information over in my tracker. So I can see from my tracker, it does a calculation already for me. And that's a 17% move. So I can just double check that. And as you can see, that's a 17% move. You can see that the left-hand side of this rectangle right here. Okay. Now, with that being said, I also need to track the max pullback price that I would have had to hold through while I was in that trade, because I need to know how enjoyable this trade was going to be. If I have to hold through a 10 to 13, 14% pullback just to get that, it can be a very stressful trade. All right. And I only got so much mental bandwidth in the tank to be holding through pullbacks. All right. So for me, I need to track the lowest price that it reached while I was in the trade. So if we enter here, we can see the lowest price reach is actually on this candle right here, the bottom of it. And the low is going to be up here at the top left-hand corner. The low is going to be $2.44. I'll type that in my tracker. So I can see that's a 3.5% pullback. So we would have entered right here. This would have been the low, 3.56%. Same thing that got calculated on my tracker. All right. Now from there, I'm coming over here and I'm going to quotes and I'm taking a look at the previous close. So the previous close is $2.05. So I type that into my tracker and I can easily see that the daily gain at the original breakout level was 19.5%. So what that means from the previous close to the breakout level, which was 245. So if I just measure this out, it's going to be around 19.5%. That's the same exact thing that I got inside of my tracker as well. Okay. And again, I don't track any breakout that happens if the stock is not up at least 17%. All right. From there, I'm taking a look at the market cap and the free float as well. So if I bring this over, guys, a couple things you can see over here. Number one, we're tracking the market cap. So the market cap is going to be all the way over here on the right-hand side. Let me bring this over just a little bit. So you can see the market cap here at 6.81 million. All right. And that's at $2. So this is sometimes we got to double check because it closed at $2, but the breakout level was at $2.45. So what I do is I come over here to chat GPT, and I say, hey, chat, the market cap at $2 was 6.81 million. What was the market cap at $2.45? I'm using the audio feature over here on chat. I send that through. Chat's going to give me the exact market cap. So at $2.45, the market cap was at 8.34 million. So I'm going to go over here back to my tracker. And for that category, for a market cap, I have it broken down in categories between below 1 million, 1 to 10, 10 to 50, and so on and so forth. So for that, it's going to be between 1 to 10 million. All right. I like to break that down by categories because market cap has a big direct correlation to how far stock actually runs. Because I'm up to over 3,100 trades tracked, and market cap has a massive direct correlation. Another variable that I track is going to be the free float. So if we just come over here, I can see the free float. That does not change throughout the day at all. So the free float was the same this morning as it is right now. So it's 3.41 million. Again, I do that in categories. So that's going to be between 1 to 10 million. I put that in as well. And then from there, the other thing that I'm looking at is the dip that this stock gave us before the breakout. So once this level was set right here, this breakout level, how much did this stock dip before it actually broke out, right? So right here is going to be the top. I track it from the top. I drag this down, and I can see that that was a 12% pullback. That was the dip before it broke out, right? So we made this high. This is the red candle. Once we established this was a 12% pullback right here. So I'm going to type that inside of my tracker. One of the many different variables I track just to see if it has a direct correlation to win rate. It doesn't have a massive direct correlation, but it has a very small one. I do use it from time to time. Now, something else that I do track and that does have a really big correlation on win rate as well is going to be the dollar volume. So down here at the very bottom, you guys probably don't have this indicator, or I know you don't have this indicator because I custom created it myself. This actually tells me the dollar volume that is going through this stock on each and every candle, right? So for this 5-minute candle right here at 750, you can see down here at the bottom, this is going to tell me the actual volume on it. So the volume is 203,000. So I'm going to type that inside of my tracker. And then the other thing that I'm looking at is going to be the profile. And I'll take a look at where the company is from. So USA. Okay. So there's a couple other things that I got to track on the 1-minute time frame. However, for now, just on the 5-minute time frame, the only other thing that I track is did the next 5-minute candle close red or green. So this is the next 5-minute candle, and I can see it close red. So I'm going to go ahead and put it close red on my tracker. Right now, I'm going to come back to SUNE because there's more things that I need to track on the 1-minute time frame. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and move over to the next stock. And the next stock is going to be OLB. And this was actually a phenomenal setup today. If you guys were sitting at the charts, this was an A+ setup today. This is one of the green light special setups. Okay. So right here, we can see that, this stock absolutely explodes right here. You didn't have any breakout levels because if we go from the previous close all the way up to this level right here, the stock was only up around 11-12%. Okay. So we for a fact would have missed out on this big original move, and then we make this big pullback. So the breakout level is going to be right here at $1.09. So I'm typing that in as the breakout level, $1.09. The time the stock broke out is going to be right here at 12 o'clock. I'm typing that in. 5-minute candle close. Again, that's going to be up here in the top left-hand corner. It's going to be $1.13. All right. From there, using a 15% stop loss, what was the max price reached? So if I would have entered at this 5-minute candle close right here, I could just measure out where my 15% stop loss would have been. It would have been roughly right here in this spot at the bottom of this rectangle. And as you can see, price never came back down here. So the max price that it would have reached was all the way up here at $1.80. I'm going to type that into my tracker. It automatically calculates the max percentage that I could have got while in this trade. And the max percentage that I could have got was 59.29%. All right. So if we just take this rectangle right here and we drag it up to $1.80, just to double check, 59.29%, right on the money. Okay. Now, next thing I need to find out is what was the max drawdown percentage while I was in the trade. So if I entered right here, the lowest point of this trade would have been right here, and that low is $1.03. So I'm going to type that into my tracker, and I can see that's an 8.85% pullback. So right here in this moment right here, you would have been feeling like poop. You'd be like, God damn it, this is a loser. And then what do you know? The volatility of a penny stock. It's why we love them, because we want these big moves. But so many of you get kicked out on these moves down. Comment down below if that's you. A lot of you guys get kicked out on these moves. You get scared. You're not able to hold and actually get the return. I've tracked so many of these trades. I just know for a fact I never, ever hardly ever move my stop loss up to break even. And the reason why is because penny stocks will whiplash and kick you out, and you'll get kicked out right before it makes the big move. All right. So next thing that I need to track is the previous close. That's going to be over here on the right hand side. So previous close, let me bring this over just a little bit. Previous close 0.4151. So I'm typing that in. All right. So the stock was already up 162% from the previous day. The market cap right here was 19.88 million. So down, right here at $1.09, it was probably somewhere around like 15 million. Either way, it was above 10 million. I know that for sure. I don't need to ask chat about that. 10 to 50 million is going to be the market cap category. Free float right here is 3.38 million. So again, 1 to 10 million is the category for free float. Now the next thing that I need to track is going to be the dip before the breakout. So this is when the breakout level was established. I'm tracking all the way from the top. So from the top of the wick, let me delete that. Okay, so from the top of the wick right here, pulling it all the way down, this is the lowest level. It's going to be a 42% pullback. So big pullback before this one finally bounced back later on in the day. All right, volume on the breakout is going to be right here. It's 5.67 million. type that in, go over to profile. We can see that this stock is from the United States. Okay, perfect. Now we're moving on to the next breakout, which was GXAI. Comment down below, guys, if this stuff is helpful for you. All right. So for GXAI, we get the big move up here, green, green, green. We're waiting for the first red candle. That's established right here, drawing the horizontal line at the top of the red candle right here. Breakout level is going to be $1.71. So I'm typing that in. Time the stock broke out is going to be 8:15. 5-minute candle close up here at the top is going to be $1.73. And then the max price reached is going to be right here at 197 because this stock ended up taking a poop right after, right? So I'll type in 197 for the max price reach, and that is a 13.87% move. If I would have entered right here on this trade, I would have had to hold through this drawback, and that low on that candle was $1.64. So I'll type that in as well, and I can see that's a 5% pullback, okay? Previous close is going to be right over here, which is $1.05. So the stock was up 63, almost 63% for the day when it finally broke out. Market cap sitting at 12.27 million. Now, just so you know, market cap goes up and down with the price. So that market cap reflects $1.42. But what I want to know is what was the market cap at the point of it was breaking out. So obviously it was more than 12 million. I can't do the exact math in my head, but I know that market cap was probably somewhere between 15 to 20 million when it was at $1.71. Okay. So either way, that falls in between the category of 10 to 50 million. So I'm putting 10 to 50 million for the market cap category. And then from there, I'm going over to free float, and I can see again, low free float between 1 to 10 million. Now I'm going back over here and I'm taking a look at the dip before the breakout. So I'm going at the highest point right here, and I can see that that pullback was 15%. I'll type that in as well. Let's take a look at the volume. The volume is down here at the bottom. 6.17 was the volume on that 5-minute candle. So a ton of volume on that stock on that 5-minute candle. Profile right here, the stock is from the United States. All right. Now we're moving over to the next stock, which is GVH. And for GVH, you can see that I have this level already mapped out right here at $1.17. So just to double check right here, this was the close from the previous day right here at 4 o'clock. Drag that up, and you can see the stock was up 26%. All right. So we're going to go ahead and type in that level. $1.17 was the breakout level. The time the stock broke out, this is the 5-minute candle where it closed above, which is going to be 9:05. So I'll type that in my tracker as well. 5-minute candle close right here is closed is $1.44. The max price reached, if we take a look right here, would we have been able to hold through this pullback is the question. So we would have entered right here with a 15% stop loss. And as you can see, this is over a 26% pullback. So you would have not been able to get this pop. You would have had to hold through 26%, which I'm never doing. So the max price that I could have reached in this trade was $1.62, which was a 12% move. Quick little pop right here on this one. And again, a lot of times in pre-market, since you can't set an automatic stop loss and take profit, I always recommend and tell people you got to be really quick and being able to use your buy it, ask, sell it, bid button in pre-market, right? Truth be told, if I would have taken this trade, I'm probably not selling at 12.5% right there. That probably would have been a loser, right? And then the max drawdown I would have had to hold through on this trade is going to be the bottom of this candle, which is $1.35. So I'll type that in, $1.35. And I can see I had to hold through a 6% pullback in order to get that pop, all right? Next thing I'm looking at is the previous close. The previous close is right over here, 0.9203. All right, and then from there, I'm taking a look at the market cap. Market cap is right here at 2.97 million. That's at the price of $1.30. This breakout price was at the breakout level was at $1.17. So the market cap was a little bit lower. Either way, it's in that category of 1 to 10. So I'm putting 1 to 10 for market cap. Free flow right here again between 1 to 10. It looks like damn near every single breakout today was between 1 to 10 million in the free flow. All right. Next thing I'm looking at is the dip before the breakout. This is another one of the variables that I track. We can see that this was the high. This is when the breakout level was set. And then from there, we pull this back, and I can see that's a 21% pullback. So I'm typing that inside of my tracker as well. And then the volume on the breakout, this is the 5-minute candle right here. You can see the volume down here at the bottom, 4.31. So I'm typing that in as well. All right. And then from there, I'm taking a look at the country. I can see it's from Australia. So I have USA, Chinese, Canada, and then Chinese, Canada, and then I have other. So I'm going to put that in the category of other. All right. Next up, we got OLB. Guys, comment down below and let me know if this type of content is valuable. This is the type of stuff that I do on the daily in order to prepare myself for the next day. All right. OLB, we've already tracked this one. Looks like I accidentally put that on the tracker twice. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that one. So next up is going to be ATOM. So for ATOM, let's take a look. So this is the previous close right over here. So what I need to find out is this the original breakout level? So if I drag this up, nope, it was only up 12%. So the first breakout level or the first pullback that we get is actually this level right here after it's up over 17%. So the official breakout level for this one's going to be $5.04. And then the time that this stock breaks out, if I zoom all the way in, didn't quite break out. Nope, didn't quite break out on that candle. Had to zoom all the way in on that one. So the time it broke out was right here at 11:20. So I type in 11:20 right here. 5-minute candle close right here is $5.07. I'm typing that in. And then from there, we're going over to the max price reach. This one did a nice little pop up to $6.19. So I typed that in. The max percentage that you could have got on this trade was 22%. And then the max pullback while in this trade. So if we enter right here, the max pullback is going to be on this candle right here, this red candle, the bottom of it, which is $4.99. So you would have had to hold through basically a 1.5% pullback. Not bad at all. Then from there, I'm going over to the previous close, which is $3.92. And then from there, I'm going to the market cap, which is 185 million. That 185 million is at 5.73. Either way, that's falling in the category of 50 to $200 million market cap. Then I'm going over to free float, which is 29.90 million, a little bit higher of a free float. That's going to fall in the category of 10 to 50. Put that inside my tracker. Now I need to go to the dip before the breakout. So I'm measuring from this point to this point. So the dip before the breakout, 16%. So I'm typing that in. And then the volume on the breakout is going to be this 5-minute candle. Volume is listed down here at the bottom with my custom indicator, 3.35 million. And then from there, I'm going over to the country. I can see this is from the United States. Okay, moving over to the next one. Next one is going to be GMM. So if I type in GMM, I can see we made this big pop. That's why it's on my tracker. I wanted to come back and revisit this one. But we can see that this stock actually never broke out, and this level was only up 4% for the day. So this would have been the breakout level right here that I was eyeballing. Unfortunately, this stock never bounced back and it never broke out. So I'll just delete that from my tracker and move on to the next one. Next one is going to be CGTL. So if I type in that one, let's delete all the drawings. And then from there, this is the previous close right here. So you can take a look at the time all the way down here at the bottom. You want to make sure you're on the 4 p.m. candle. And for a red candle, the close is at the bottom. So that was the close for the day. And then from there, you can see this would have been the breakout level at 53% up. This couldn't have been the breakout level because it was only up 9% for the day. So this would have been my breakout level right here. But as you can see, this stock never bounces back. It's basically just a pump and dump. All right. So CGTL, we're going to go ahead and delete that one from the tracker. We don't need that one. Next up is going to be CNVS. So CNVS, let's delete all the drawings here. And then I can see this is the previous close. So I don't have any breakout levels. I know for a fact this was only up a couple percent, 4% right there. This would have been my breakout level right here. But as you can see, this stock just pulls back. It never breaks out. So I'm going to delete that from the tracker. And then next up is going to be ENSC. So ENSC, we go from there. Okay, so for ENSC, this is going to be the previous close. Let me just double check and make sure that my level here is up at least 17%. So if we drag it up here, yep, that's at a 20% level. And the reason why this right here can't be a breakout is because if we take a look right here, this closes, or actually, if I zoom all the way in, it actually does close right above it. Look at that. That's why I zoom all the way in right there. So the breakout level is actually 0.52 for this one, 0.52. That's why you really got to zoom in, man. You got to be specific with these things because it's very important. If that closes above that, I need to take that trade, all right? Then from here, I just want to double check. The previous close is right here, 0.4350. So let me type that in. Oh, 0.4350. Yep, so this level was up 19%, all right? So the time the stock broke out is going to be on this 5-minute candle right here at 10:15. So let me type that in. And then from there, 5-minute candle close right here is going to be 0.5201. The max price reached while I was in this trade. The big question is, how deep was this pullback right here? So if I just come down, you can see that was about a 9.5% pullback. So the max drawdown in this trade, the low price is 0.47. So I'll go ahead and put that into the tracker just to double check. And yep, now 0.63% pullback. Max price reached, as long as you didn't move your stop loss and you would have kept your stop loss at 15%, would have been up here at 0.6986. So 0.6986. Which is a 34% gain. And again, it's just a great example of so many of you get whiplashed and kicked out of these trades on these little quick drawdowns right here, when in reality, you're getting kicked out right before the big move. Comment down below if you do that often. I know a lot of you do. Now I'm coming over here to market cap at 1.54 million. So the category is 1 to 10. Free flow right here at 3.44 million. That's 1 to 10 as well. And then now I'm looking at the dip before the breakout. All right. So the dip before the breakout is going to be right here. This was the how it was set. This was the dip before we had the breakout on this candle right there. So it's 5.8%. So I round that up to 6%. Volume on the breakout, if we take a look at the volume on this candle, this volume was pretty low, but it's just above what I would track. So if it's below $50,000 in volume, I won't track it, because a lot of times those stocks, they just don't have enough volume to get any continuation. So I don't trade them, and I don't track them either. So this one had just enough volume at 61,000. So I'll type that inside my tracker. And then from there, we take a look at the profile. We can see the stock was from the United States. All right. Next up is going to be LFS. So I type that in as well. LFS. There we go. Okay, finally. All right, so LFS, I already had this level mapped out. You can see I had my alert set. This thing never came back and pulled around. You may be asking, why did I not count this as the breakout level? Because you got to take a look at the time. If it's before 6 a.m., I don't count any of those breakouts, because I'm not waking up at 4 a.m. to trade. So I only count breakouts that happen after 6 a.m. and the stock has to be up at least 17%. Next ticker I got on the list is BDMD. So I typed that in. Let's go over to today, and I can see that this stock was actually moving pretty decent. This is the previous close right here. So what I want to see is, like, at what point are we up at least 17%? Not at this level. Right here at this level, we're up 20%. So my breakout level is going to be at the top of this red candle right here. So the breakout level for this one is going to be at 0.93. Now, just something I want to double check is the volume on this one, because I can tell from the candles and the way they're forming that the volume is kind of low. So if I hover my mouse right here over this candle, you can see the volume for it right here is only 34.95K, which is not enough. Again, that's below 50,000, so I would not have counted that. So in this scenario, what I do is I wait for the next level to form. So I'm not going to trade that because there's not enough volume on it. So the next level that forms is actually right here. Now I need to double check on this 5-minute candle if it had enough volume, and you can see this is where the real volume starts to come in at 2.82. So the actual breakout level for this bad boy is going to be $1.01. Time the stock broke out is going to be 10:10 a.m. And then from there, the 5-minute candle close is $1.10. And then the max price reached on this bad boy is going to be $1.41 all the way over here at 15.35. So I'll type in $1.41. So if you were patient enough to hold through, that was a 28% max percentage gain that you could have got on this bad boy. And the max drawdown that you would have been in is going to be right here at the bottom of this candle right here. So the low is 0.9618. So I'll type that in. And 0.9618 is a 12.5% drawback. And this is exactly why I go with a 15% stop loss, because you would have had to hold through this. This trade would not have felt good. When I see trades like this, yeah, this goes down as a winner. But also, too, I mean, you would have, held through this, and then you pull back, and then you chop, and then you pull back. You basically would have had to hold this all the way from 10:10 all the way till, basically almost till the market closed. So you'd have been holding this bad boy for about 5 or 6 hours. This would not have been an enjoyable trade. But again, this is why I tell a lot of people inside of my reels, inside of my shorts, if you guys are watching it, is once you get into the trade and you've set your plan and you're during market hours, set that stop loss, set that take profit, and close the charts. Because if not, when you get into trades like this, you're going to make dumb decisions where you're going to get pissed off. You're going to be emotional. It's going to be a roller coaster. Close those charts. Don't even look at it, because chances are, if you're watching it, you're going to make some changes to your trade. You're going to put your stop loss up to break even, and then you're going to get kicked out right before it, it goes and runs the take profit. All right. So next up is going to be the previous close. So previous close here is 77 cents. So I'm going to type that in. And then the market cap on this bad boy was 46 million at $1.26, which means it was a little bit lower at $1.01. So that category is 10 to 50. Free float is 11 million. So that category is 10 to 50. And then the dip before the breakout is going to be right here. So if I just track that, boom, we can see that's 11% pullback, 10.58. I round up on the pullbacks. And then from there, we're taking a look at the volume. The volume is 2.82 million. So 2.82 million, and then the country is going to be China. This bad boy came from China. And next up, we're going over to the next ticker, VVPR. Okay. Now, VVPR. So let's just go ahead and delete some of these drawings. Let me make this a little bit bigger so I can see the damn delete button. There we go. All right. So if we take a look at the previous close here, the previous close was right here on this candle. So we're going to measure from the previous close. And I can see that this stock was up about, okay, so the real level is right here, because this was up around 18%. So the real level is going to be right here at $2.51. So we can see that it didn't break out until 11:20. So let me type that in, $2.51. It broke out at 11:20. 5-minute candle close is going to be right here, which is $2.61. And then from there, max price reach is $2.87. And again, if you guys are watching this and you guys are getting value and you guys want to be trained by me one-on-one, I am accepting more one-on-one clients right now. So if you've been watching this video, you've made it this far in the video, and you're trading with at least 5K plus inside of your portfolio, you really want to take things to the next level, you want to start trading with data instead of trading with emotions, you want access to my dashboard, you want to climb the information ladder, click the link down below. You can book a call with me, and then we'll have a chat, and we'll see if it's a good fit. All right, so from there, in order to get this max percentage gain right here, this is the drawdown that you would have had to hold through. So this candle right here, the low on this candle was going to be $2.55. So I'll type that in, and then from there, the previous close is going to be right over here at $2.11. So the breakout level was at 18.9% higher than the previous close. And then market cap is going to be 31 million, so I'm putting 10 to 50. Free float is going to be 7 million, so I'm putting 1 to 10. The dip before the breakout is going to be all the way from this level right here, because this was the breakout level, because I count after hours, just FYI if you were wondering. I always count after hours and pre-market levels, all right? So this is going to be 33% pullback, all right? So I'll type that in. Let's go check what the volume was on the breakout. So the volume is 0.255, so 255,000. Okay, and then from there, I'm taking a look, and I can see it's from the UK. So my category for that one's going to be other. All right, next up is going to be INFQ. So let's type that bad boy in. And yeah, so this is an interesting one. So, you know, for me, you know, a lot of times I want to make sure I'm as consistent as possible with where I put my breakout level, because, you know, sometimes you'll have stuff that happens like this that is low volume. So it's like, do I count this level, right? So for me, in this situation, when I'm taking a look at this chart, I had to ask myself, do I count these low volume levels or do I not? And I made the decision early on when I started tracking over a year ago that I was going to count these levels if the candle is like, you know, formed. If it's a very small candle and it looks like a fucking, like a little small barcode, I'm not going to count that. But since this candle is so big on the chart and other traders are going to be looking at that level, I decided to start counting it. That might be right, that might be wrong, but to stay consistent, I would have counted that as the breakout level at $18. And you can see we never break above that level, so I can just delete that bad boy, okay? Now from there, what I'm going through is I'm going through the top gainers just to make sure that I've tracked everything. I have OLB on my tracker. Let me just double check. I do. Next up, SGN. Did I track SGN? I do not have SGN on my tracker because this is a stock that broke out later on in the day. So now I have to zoom in here and I have to take a look at SGN. And this is why I go through the entire top gainers list. And not only do I go through the top gainers list here on Webull, but also over on TradingView, you have a longer top gainers list, because Webull's top gainers list, what I notice is it kind of stops right here. On TradingView, I can go all the way down and I can take a look at stocks that are up, you know, 15, 14, 13%, because some of these stocks pop and then they dip. So I want to make sure I count as many breakouts as possible. And between the hours of, you know, 6 a.m. all the way till 12 p.m., I'm pretty damn confident in saying that I counted, you know, I get at least 95 to 100% of these breakouts as far as accuracy goes. I know obviously there's going to be some human error, so I've probably missed a couple here and there, but probably caught 95% of the breakouts that have happened over the past year. And then from 12 to 4 is typically a time where I step away from the chart. So I'm coming back and I'm revisiting all of the stocks that are on the top gainers list. And obviously I do try to catch most of them. I would say that my accuracy between 12 to 4, you know, there's going to be some that just pop and then they completely, like, they go negative for the day. I'm probably not going to have a chance to catch those. So from 12 to 4, I don't do any trading anyway. And I've honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to continue to track these stocks that break out after 12 o'clock. I'm continuing to track them right now because it's just part of my process and I'm used to it. But honestly speaking, probably later on down the line, since I'm not trading this time frame, I'm probably just going to stop tracking them. We'll see, unless I hire like a team out and I get somebody else to kind of help me out with this. So the previous close was 0.2504. So let's take a look at where the breakout level would have been. So if the breakout level was right here, let's put it right there and type that over into the tracker, 0.3166. That level was up 26% for the day. If I would have, let's say, for example, tried to put my level down here at the bottom, you know, 0.2585, let me type that in. And yeah, that was only up 3% for the day, so that can't be the breakout level. So this stock's breakout level was definitely up here at 0.3166, so I'm going to type that in. And then from there, time the stock broke out is going to be right here at 1240. I'm not doing that at 1240, so 1240. And then 5-minute candle close is going to be right here at 0.3228. Max price reach is going to be all the way right here. We have this pop going into after hours, 0.4889. And just so you guys know, if you're continuing to watch this, I don't count any price action that happens in after hours. And the reason why is because I can't continue to use a stop loss. I'm not trading. I'm not holding into after hours. I never do. So I just don't count it. Right. Max pullback price while in trade. So if I would have answered at this 5-minute candle close right here, the lowest point would have actually been right here on this next 5-minute candle, which is 0.3192. So I'm typing that in. That max drawdown is 1%. That's a very enjoyable trade. All right, there was some choppiness right here. You would have had to hold through this pullback before you hit the pop, but you would have never been in much drawdown. Market cap is at 5.76 million, so it's between 1 to 10. Free float's at 13 million, which is 10 to 50. And then the dip before the breakout is going to be right here. And the dip before the breakout is at 11%. Okay. Now the volume on the breakout is going to be on this candle is 0.989, so right under a million. And then the country that this stock is from the United States. Okay. So what I'm going to do, guys, is go through the rest of the top gainers list and just double check and make sure that I haven't missed anything. This is my process. I go through this every single day. So typically while I'm trading in the morning, I'll make sure I list out all the tickers. I actually try to fill out a lot of this information in the morning in between trades because I'm not, high frequency trading, taking 100 trades or 10, 15 trades per day. Typically, I'm taking anywhere from 1 to 3 trades per day. So I fill out a lot of this as much as I can while I'm at the charts and I'm watching. And then from there, at the end of the day, I always revisit and go through and make sure I didn't miss any breakouts and I've tracked all my variables. What I have to do now is double check, make sure I didn't miss any breakouts. Then I have to zoom into the 1-minute time frame, and there's a couple variables that I track on the 1-minute time frame. And then from there, through all of my different filters, I have to go through and check all of my pullback strategies, and I have to go through all of my dashboards and just double check. This is what my process looks like. And the thing is, if you're watching this and you're still watching this, is you're probably not doing any of this. And remember that day trading is a player versus player game, which means you have to compete against me, and I have access to my dashboard. I track every single one of these setups, so I can tell by the market cap, by the free flow, by the way the 5-minute candle is closing, by the way the next 1-minute candle is closing, by how far the stock is up for the day, for the dip, for the breakout. I can take a look at all these variables and take a look and have a really good idea as what my best take profit is, what my best stop loss is, etc. So if you guys want access to more information, you guys want access to my personal trading journal and my dashboard, click the link down below if you're interested in one-on-one. With that being said, comment down below if you got value. I'll see you guys in the next video.